as well. Welcome to those of you. Today is your first culture chat. We're really, really pleased to have you here. So I'm going to get going and we're going to eventually turn this over to Summer, who's going to lead us through today's culture chat. But as I said, welcome. Today's culture chat is Ask Me, Don't Assume, intergenerational conversation in a changing Emirati society. So we look forward to diving into that shortly. But first, just a few announcements. We have our culture chat schedule, which typically is every other week. So you'll see February 4th, 18th, March 4th, and skip the January 18th. That's something. We had some issues with our PowerPoint this morning, so ignore that. But culture chat topics, these are largely driven by your interest, things that are topical. If you have an area of expertise and want to share that with our community, we encourage that. And also, please do share any topics that you'd like us to dive into, and we try to find experts. It's a great way for you to kind of try out some new materials as well, for those of you who are coaches, trainers, and just culture enthusiasts alike. We have some upcoming Crossing Cultures with Competence workshops. So this is a Train the Trainer workshop that Terry, myself, Peter, and Nick have been involved in. And the next one is February online. We have some participants from around the world. And the in-person sessions, which we're building out, the calendar for this year, take place over 2 days, where the online sessions are a mix of time frames over 5 days. So we have quite a few graduates in this course, but it gives you the materials to deliver intercultural competence workshops. We've had quite a few of you completing the ITEC certification. So this is the Global Intercultural Training Expertise certification that is recognized around the world. So for those of you who still have questions and are aiming to submit in, what is that, just 2 weeks' time, do get in contact. And for those of you who are interested to learn more about it, let us know. We'd be happy to share more about this certification. The Interculturalist Circle. So these sessions are recorded online. We have our YouTube channel. So if you miss and you can't make it, by all means, please do, log into YouTube, give us a like, and get caught up. So I'm going to turn it over to Peter, who's going to give an introduction to our speaker today. Summer, once again, I know you've been with us for a long time, and we're really pleased to have you presenting today. So Peter, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, Summer is obviously one of those really impressive people you meet that's got a really long bio full of great stuff. So I'm sure I'm going to miss some of it out. But Summer has over 35 years of experience in heritage preservation, tourism, and cultural education, and is a trusted authority in Arab cultural fluency and sustainable travel. She is born into a multicultural world and shaped by global experiences. She brings a rare combination of academic structure, emotional intelligence, and field-based insight into everything she does. I know in the link in the letter we gave you a link to her bio on LinkedIn, which is a great place to learn more, which would also take you through to her website regarding the various trainings and other services she offers. And she's also the founder, you may know her from the founder of the CCC for Cultural Coexistence, where she delivers much of her work. Sorry about that, Summer. I know it wasn't the best introduction. The postman just arrived and the dog started barking.
Well, thank you, Summer. We're going to turn it over to you, and thanks again for delivering today's presentation.
Thank you very much for having me. I hope that you can all hear me. Give me thumbs up if my voice clear, because I am reporting to you today from the UAE, Abu Dhabi. So I hope this is excellent, so you can all hear me. Perfect. I hope, first of all, that 2026 is treating you well so far, and I'm very honored that I'll be the first one to start, and I hope I won't be boring you too much. Thank you really for having me, and I hope you enjoy my talk as much as I have enjoyed being part of this beautiful community. It became a habit of mine that when I am presenting for the first time on any platform, to share two things about myself. One private thing or personal thing, and another one which is professional thing. So for the professional thing, this year I'm celebrating my 36th entrepreneurial practice. Yes, 36 years. I don't know where did the time go, but as they say, when you're enjoying what you're doing and having more fun, so much fun, so time passes so fast. The other thing is a personal thing, and it is that I'm dyslexic. So I've been diagnosed late in life with dyslexia, and that made me a bit insecure when I was much younger. I was very, very insecure, but all that in the past. Now we have to deal with slides full of spelling mistakes to prove that they are not 100% AI and they have the human factor. So please forgive me if you find any kind of spelling mistakes today on my slides. I revise them carefully, but sometimes there will be some mistakes. Last but not least, you might be wondering if I'm a dedicated attendee to the culture chat, why I didn't share my insights before with the community. That was a very nice question asked by Tasha today. And the answer to that question is simply, I didn't ask. And that's our topic for today. The core of our talk is about asking questions and to have the courage to ask questions, even if you're not comfortable with these questions and how to ask them. Let me share my screens. I'm not very big fan of slides recently. I don't use them much, but they are there for you because it's an online talk, so they are helping. Also, they will help me memorize certain things that I don't want to forget sharing with you. And I have a very small technical problem. I don't know why, but I'll figure it out some other time, that I either can see the presentation or you guys. So don't worry about it and sit back, grab your drink, whatever it is. It's evening here, so, and morning somewhere else. So let's see and scratch the surface regarding UAE. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
I can't see you, unfortunately, but it's okay. So here we go. Let's start with some facts. Here in the UAE, even the most seasoned conversationalists struggle with their first conversation with Arabs. It's a fact. We all, when we want to talk or want something, we enter guided by our own internal compasses. Another fact. Expats, and I will say expats, not only businessmen, because lots of people come now to the UAE seeking a new life, seeking a new project. It's not only for business, moving here forever. Lots of people have been investing recently to live here or retire here. They always come with an agenda. They always come trying to persuade you with something, negotiate with you for something, and making decisions and making them so quick because time is becoming more and more valuable. Expat partners as well. I'm not discussing only businessmen. My work involves families, wives, people who come here to retrieve information, coexist, and start businesses. So they can speak perfectly fine. They can hear us perfectly fine, but they fail to tune in. And that's why 90% of conversations here with Emirati fall flat. It's not only bad talk. The problem here that we are struggling with is lazy listening. So people come, do their homework, get the training, get culture training, and then expat professionals come back to us as consultants, exposing their pain points, wondering why the execution of their businesses was not successful in the UAE despite their culture training. And that was simply because they just learned the do and don'ts. Sometimes training don't go through. They just look at the faux pas, and what they need to work on is just right back behind them because they need to focus on more important things. and they don't retrieve the knowledge about the new generation that completely changed. We're not talking about the Emirates, which started 54 years ago. We're talking to the new generation. We're talking at families who send their kids to Princeton, to Oxford, to Duke, to Stanford, and they come back with knowledge. And when you start interacting with them in the old-fashioned way of how you knew Arab or the stereotype of Arabs, they refrain from opening up for you because they want to know you very well. They want to know your values. They want to put extra effort and understand them properly. And that will never happen unless you start doing the right thing. First of all, if you want to ask good questions to an Arab, you need to get the 3R covered properly. These 3 boxes that you see in front of you are the first step where you start leaving your comfort zone as a foreigner, as an expat, as a businessman coming to the GCC. You need to leave it and you need to embrace the fact of enjoying being uncomfortable because there are benefits. Because diversity is not the different that you like, it is the different that you are really have to work on. It is important that you really unfold these layers with meaning and with complexities. So the first important thing that you should know is that Arabs are not the same. Arabs come from different regions. Know your region before assuming that everyone who wearing an abaya or a kandora is an Emirati. We have 6 countries that are representing the Gulf Cooperation Council. We have KSA, we have UAE, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain. We have the Shawam, who are the Levantine region, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Palestine. And last but not least, we have the Meds, or known as the North African Arabs, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Sudan. So if we as nationals or as an Arab start speaking to each other in Arabic, we will figure out who's coming from where. But as a foreigner, as an expat, how you'll be able to realize that? It's the language to listen and to understand. But now, hold on. Does that make a difference for you in expat? Of course it does. Every single region is different and you need to understand their needs, their humor, and how to ask them the proper questions. For instance, GCC are concise. They are introverts, stoic, subtle, quiet. While if you talk to somebody coming from Egypt, for instance, they can narrate for you their life story in one sitting. They are open, they are talkative, they enjoy it very much. So the problem then is the language. No, it's not. Barriers can be fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of offending somebody, fear of touching sensitive topics, fear of making the wrong physical gesture, fear of expressing your own values sometimes. So what about religion? Is religion something that I must know about and ask questions about? Absolutely. And again, if we go back to 30 years, I will tell you maybe it would have been a taboo to talk about religion. But we are not totalitarian community. We are pluralistic community, which means we give you openness and freedom to practice your religion. Even before UAE signed the Abraham Accords with Israel, we give liberty to practice religion. We have Hindus, we have Christians, we have Baha'i. Some people don't even know what is the Baha'i religion is. We have Buddhistics. And we have synagogues here built, churches, temples. So we need to put back our own beliefs and pretend that everything will be okay and it's professional not to ask questions about religion. We feel lighter. We feel, distant. Don't distance yourself. Ask questions. How you expect to work in Ramadan if you don't know what is going on? how you go, for instance, to a Ramadan banquet, or how you talk to your employee during the month of Ramadan and get the best out of his energy while he's fasting. So religion is something that you should know about and can and are allowed to ask smart questions about. So region, religion, and rank. It's a hierarchy. So I'll put this in a simple way. You need to understand that to treat people with respect according to their position. And I'm going to move on now, because we don't, of course, have much time, to something that I'm sure we discussed so many times before, which is names. I have listened to amazing presentation about pronouncing names properly. And I don't want to bore you with this, but because this is very important, I'm going to bring it back in a kind of a storytelling. This picture, I took it with my daughter when she wanted to have with me a tour in England before she said she go to her medical school in Dublin. So we rented a car. It was raining and we were driving on the way, Wales. Okay, we are in Wales. I was very nervous, super anxious for two reasons. Number one, we were on the wrong side of the road. I mean, we were driving on the other side and I was very nervous. Number two, my daughter was driving and I don't like that. And last but not least, we were driving this new electronic car, whatever. And honestly, I'm a very old generation. I don't stop to check the car unless I see smoke coming out of the car. And that's the way I've been. But nowadays, you have these new cars and you have everybody on the screen, you have lights blinking for the least thing. And we could have been going on. I don't understand why did you want to stop? Mom, we have to stop. There is a light coming out. We have to stop. We have to, okay, let's stop. So that's where we stopped. And over there, there was these letters. There were 58 letters. And we went to the garage in and started asking, of course, it was village in Wales that got 41 English letters translated to 48 Welsh letters. And I start talking to the workers there, explain to me what's the meaning of that name. And of course, my daughter is like, Mom, don't talk to strangers. You're gonna get us killed. And I turned to her and I said, you watch too much Netflix, darling. Stop it. Let me talk to the people. Mom! And they explained to me what's going on. And I succeeded to pronounce this name of that village. And I was so proud of myself. And I got free coffee, and the car was fixed for free. And I was invited to a wedding to a relative of one of the workers. And of course, my daughter, she was like embarrassed all the time. But all what I remember of the 58 letters were the last eight letter, which is gugu, gugu, okay? I cheated, of course. They were proud of me because I pronounced the sh and the kh. I speak Arabic and Dutch, so it was easy for me. However, if you ask me to say one more time, I'll say sorry, done that, been there, got the t-shirt. So names is very important. One of the most important thing, if you want to start a conversation and ask a question to someone from the UAE, is to get his name right. What about the name of the president of the UAE, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan? Nowadays, if you called him MBZ, it's fine. But 45 years ago, if you called his dad Sheikh ZN, that wouldn't ever go through. So Arabic names are difficult. Not only Arabic names, I mean, there are so many countries all over the world with very, very difficult names, correct? So if we try to dissect this name, Muhammad is a name of the Prophet of Islam, and they always give it to children as a kind of a blessing. Or bin is the son of, or the daughter of, is if it's with a T at the end. Zayed is the father's name. Al refers to the tribe or the family name, which is Al Nahyan. This is a name of the president. Of course, everyone has to remember it. But what if you're meeting an Arab for the first time and that Arab is from the UAE or from any other country, and you're just meeting him for one time. Do you have to remember his name or her name? Well, that's what we call the art of attracting attention to an Arab by asking, what's your name? What your name means. In my workshops, I always do this activity and people love it. What's your Starbucks name? You know, when you go to Starbucks and ask for a coffee, they bring the paper cup, write your name with a marker, and then you go to the other end, collect the cup, look at the cup, it's not your name, and you start laughing. So it's exactly here the same thing. You start pronouncing a name, an Arab name, and then it totally gives a completely different meaning. So what you see on the screen here is Kareem, which means generous, and people usually pronounce it cream. Shadi, which means the singing one, and people definitely pronounce it Shady, which is totally wrong. Yasmin, everybody pronounce this name Jasmine. Don't tell me you've never pronounced this name Jasmine. Anas, which is mean the companion, and I will leave this to your imagination. So, in my career, I've been always seeing the three expat types or the three personalities when it comes to difficult names. I've seen the fumbler mumbler, and that is the destroyer. You just find in front of you a difficult name, you fumble it and mumble it, and you never try to understand what's the meaning of this name, and you mutilate it. Then we have the arrogant mangler, the person who give you a nickname without your consent. I remember it was that event, and there was the a famous Nigerian writer, Chimamanda Ngozi, and they did a very big mistake, and they start calling her name in a nickname, and it was really very embarrassing. However, things went in the right way, and they managed to pronounce her name correct in that event. And last but not least, the evader, ghosting you completely, just ghosting you. You know, that works okay for me sometimes. I mean, if I'm meeting you and somebody meets you, hi, honey, hi, sweetie, how are you? How's everything going with you? But if, for instance, I'm going professionally somewhere, like a headquarter of a company I'm working with, or I'm going to deliver a course or a keynote talk. So, hi, madam, how are you? How's everything? I like to be addressed with my name. Hi, Samar, how are you? Nice to see you again. It's good to have you back in the training room. We're looking forward for your talk, to feel your existence, to feel your identity. This is your identity. You know who always remember my name, and you'll never believe it? When I bump into my TCK kids in the country by any chance, they never forget my name. They come running to me, they greet me, they say hi. Because kids have this special thing, which is kindness. So they remember people who affected their life and did some change. So they always remember my name and they never forget it. Now, if I want to give you a precious information now, I would like to share with you, don't get trapped in your old personality traits. Don't. Just try to move forward, even if it is against um, your character, just to achieve something. Bottom line, see what does the situation require exactly, and what do you have to do to get it right. And here where comes the interesting part. Recent collected data in the UK revealed that the most accurate askers are not journalists or politicians or public speakers. They are negotiators, and I understand that very well. And why? The second best askers is psychopathic assassins. Whoa, let's stop here. So an assassin is a good asker. Why? Because they found out that they create their own social portfolio, not for the sake of being empathetic, But because they need to build that skill to be a calibrator, to be able to form trust and then reach their target, et voila, mission accomplished. We need to have the same tool exactly, but of course for completely different purpose. We need to be calibrators, not evaders, not fumbler mumblers, and not arrogant manglers. We need to be calibrators. We need to have respect. Respect people, respect them for who you are, and have patience. Have patience with your new skills that you're trying to learn. The names, the culture, the traditions, these things takes time. And you need to accept, not to accept that it's hard and the names are hard and it's really putting stress on you. No, actually accept who you are, because by the age of 7, our brain starts forming its phonetic map. So even if you drive very hard, you will not be able to get it all 100% right. And who wants to be perfect? We don't need to be perfect. We need to adjust. We need to work on our skills, because you are coming here to the UAE. You're the one who chose to move here. So make sure that you treat yourself with kindness to reach your goal. Now, are there right questions and wrong questions? Absolutely. Absolutely. And to our present day, there are certain things that are no, and there are certain things that you can ask, and there are certain things that you ask in a certain way, and there are certain things that you have to ask at a certain time. To be, of course, a good conversationalist, not for just, trying to understand the UAE mentality. This is a big list, so I'm just going to pick boomer askers. With all the respect for the baby boomer generation attending the talk this day, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with boomerangs. You know boomerangs, of course. So when you're trying to talk to Arab now, in our present day, it's not like the Arabs or the Emiratis that you were trying to talk to 45 years ago, or 35 years ago, or even 20 years ago. Back in the days, you would ask questions, and the answer would be yes or no, or a not maybe. But nowadays, they want to get engaged too. They want to tell you who they are. They want to show you that how they are educated and updated. So boomerang questions are the questions that you send, and then you have to answer again and again. For example, if I ask an Emirati, have you been to F1 this year? And he say yes. I said, yeah, I've been to F1. I got amazing seats, fantastic seats. And I met Brad Pitt. He was filming his latest movie in Abu Dhabi on Yes Island. And amazing, have you seen his movie, this new movie about racing cars? And then he answered, yes, I did. Oh my God, he doesn't age. He doesn't age. What exactly are we trying to achieve here? You're asking the questions and then you're answering them yourself. You're not giving any room for a proper conversation between you and the Emirati gentleman that you're trying actually to start a conversation with, to go to small talk, to go from small talk to tailored talk, and from tailored talk to a deep talk. It's going nowhere. It's not moving. So try to make sure that you don't use your boomerang questions. The weather. Asking about the weather and starting a conversation about the weather is a perfect choice for small talk all over the world, except the UAE. I mean, come on, guys, what are we trying to prove here? It's either very hot or okay. So it's going to be a very lame conversation. I mean, it's going to die instantly by a heart attack. So stop talking about the weather here and stop talking about how hot it is. I had so many conversations with nationals, and they say, If they complain that it's hot, or when they see us for the first time, they say, oh my God, it's so humid. Oh my God, it's so hot. Why they are here in the first place? Honestly, come on. Yes, it is hot here. We have 6 months of heat and humidity. Then it starts to get better. So show that you are a brave person and you are here in the heat and you are accepting the fact it's too hot. I'll pick up one more example for the time, which is, what shall we choose? The wife. Okay, so here, if you're talking for the first time to an Emirati or any GCCian, you don't ask about the wife, even if you met her before. You just ask about the family. It's more elegant. So how is your family? Don't go say, and how is your wife? This is very respectful way of asking the question. Now we got some tools, how we start. And this framework is from Alison Woodbrook course. She's an amazing professor in Harvard University who has a book recently called Talk, and it helps a lot about how to start conversation everywhere, not only in the UAE. And the how is very simple. You choose a topic, and that is what designs a good conversation. And then an interesting topic, please. Let's take, for example, camels and horses. And camels and horses is the pride and joy of the UAE. And talk, for instance, about the latest documentary on Netflix discussing the cloning of camels. Talk about horse racing. Asking can be exhausting, by the way. So you need to practice, you need to do your homework, especially for introverts. What's worse even is answering questions. You don't have to show your opinion or expose your opinion for everything because it can be provocative. Um, Sometimes it's really good to have the power of not saying an opinion and keep the conversation going. Asking with levity, that can be tricky because you're not a veteran here, you're a rookie, so you don't know the sense of humor. So I would take levity and move to the kindness. Be warm. So callbacks are brilliant. Use callbacks. Show the Emirati that you've been listening to them. Oh, I've heard in the beginning that you were saying that your daughter is going to surgery. Good luck and best of luck. Or what did you do about the last meeting? I heard it was really tough. So callbacks is a good way to show that you're a kind person. We warm the engine now. How to navigate. A recent Harvard study done by Alison Woodbrook say that to do a successful small talk, you need to switch 9 questions or 9 topics in 5 minutes. So if you see that your topic is running out of juice, just keep moving, change, ask other questions. You will see signs. You will see that they are looking around, looking on their phone, or just nodding, no engagement. So keep changing and keep it healthy changing because sometimes people fall in the trap of going up to tailored conversation and then their cognitive resources start running out. They keep running out of information. So make sure before you move from your small talk to the upper part of the pyramid or to deeper talk or tailored talk that you are mastering your information and you have enough resources before you have to go down again. So if you got stuck up with a conversation with Emirati and you feel that the topic is getting out of hand or he's bored or you don't have more information to provide, go back again. And that's what I teach in my program, by the way, of small talk. What is the art of leaving the tailored talk or the designed talk or the deep talk and go back again to the small talk, because I believe that small talk will never, ever go out of fashion.
So we have about 20 minutes remaining, and you wanted about 5 minutes to close up. So 15 minutes for breakout rooms. Did you want to give them the exact instructions and then we'll open up the rooms?
Absolutely. And that is what I would like to share with you now. Your practice when you go to the breakout rooms is to be very to have transparency, please, and to decide who you are or who you were one day, the evader, the fumbler mumbler, the arrogant mangler, or the calibrator. Share with your friends and with your colleagues in the breakout rooms who are you. And if you are a calibrator, please share the tools that you have used to be one. Thank you so
I
much.
came back
Everyone
in,
is
but
coming
yeah.
back now. Hello, everyone. How are you? Now I can see you again.
Where did you go, Melissa?
Oh.
Melissa and
We,
I
Steve?
know.
we
I was
missed
just
you.
sharing with them that I got kicked out. My internet is just messing me up. But yeah, I asked her the question about her name, about is it
Oh,
Summer? Is it Summer?
what did you say, Samar? What did you say?
Samar.
Samar.
Samar. Samar. Yeah. It is properly pronounced Samar, but it is a translation from a Turkish Arabic name. So it's pronounced Samar, like summer season or summer or summer. So it's
Ah,
up to you, but I hope it's easy to remember. Yeah, I
yes.
didn't take my husband's name. I kept my own last name. So if I would have taken my husband's name, it would have been Harp. But I kept my own last name. Yes. So
Does
how did you
someone
find
does
it?
someone have a meaning to it? Like Indian names have meanings? I just was curious to know.
What has meaning? I'm sorry, it was
The
your
name
break.
Summer.
Alarming.
Yes, Samar means the loud party at night.
Do we then,
Well,
can we then ask, how did that happen? Did your mother choose this because she was at a loud party? I mean, that seems too simple, but
back in the days when I'm going to turn 57 soon. So back in the days, that name was very not inappropriate, but it was very related to people who are in the movie industry, and I come from a very conservative family, so it was not so popular back then. And my father chose it before he died. And unfortunately, I've never met my father because my mom, he died before I was born. So my mom decided they told her, change the name, change the name. It's not a very respectful name. And she said, no, he chose it. I'm going to name her Summer exactly as he wanted.
my father almost called me Europa. I'm so happy he didn't. I was born on the founding day of the EEC. So,
Oh,
but luckily he called me Suzanne. So it's worldwide, but he was going to go international and he knew that. But Europa would have been very difficult
okay.
to live with, I think. A lot of conversation about that.
Very memorable.
Well, maybe I should add it, huh?
Do you have any questions? Please shoot.
How do you
Summer,
say your
we
last name,
never.
Summer?
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sayed.
We never resolved what we should do in terms of asking names, or I mean, you gave us different options, but what would your advice be to approach naming or asking for names?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. And it's universal. It's not only for Emirati. Asian names are difficult. Indian names sometimes can be also hard to pronounce. So, Russian names. So, it's actually universal. And the most important, the best thing that I found that it's really working very well with my clients and myself as well is as soon as you hear a name repeated immediately. Immediately repeat the name and ask, is that how it's pronounced right? And maybe if there is an opportunity, ask what's the meaning of that name. And that will help you to pronounce it good. And sometimes you're going to find people that say, I don't mind if you give me a nickname. I don't mind. I don't mind. Uh, a survey took place here, and they found that 65% who said it's okay are employees, and they are leaving this to their boss because they don't want to, they don't want to feel embarrassed, or they are their bosses. So they say it's okay, it's okay, it's fine. even if they call me, even if they pronounce my name in the wrong way, it's okay, it's fine, but it's not fun. All right.
I have to go against all my inner urges to be an arrogant mangler because
You're
it's
an arrogant.
in many ways from my culture, it's seen as a sign of closeness. So when I feel like I'm actually connecting with someone, it's the next level of kind of closeness in the conversation to then allocate a nickname or an abbreviation to then help with speed of conversation and get to the kind of the meat of what we're trying to achieve faster. But obviously, I appreciate that's not a universal sign, as you've shown, Summer, of good ways to communicate.
Okay, let's try something now, please. And I will go first. I was an evader. One day, I was an evader. So let's put our hands up for those who were fumbler mumblers. Put your hands up if you were a fumbler mumbler. Okay, okay. Hangler mangler. Hangler mangler. No hangler manglers at all. Okay. Evaders. Evaders. Okay. Calibrators. Calibrators. Wow. I'm very much impressed. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Summer, for this session. I think you leave us with lots to think about, reflecting on how we've practiced in the past and maybe perhaps how we will practice in the future. So again, wonderful session. And thank you all for being here today. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Yes, thank you, Summer. A little round of applause for that.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. And take care. Have a good night.